Right, I got Warrior up to level 71, which means I can do Holminster switch. I am not great as a tank. Let's see what happens. Now, Holminster switch isn't my favourite dungeon. I find it a bit tedious, I think is the right word. It's very linear feeling. But they all are linear, but it just feels even more so. Walk along a bit, kill something. Well, actually, that still describes all the dungeons, actually, doesn't it? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as such. I'm even going to use food just to give myself that edge. I don't know why a baguette's good tank food, but apparently it's good tank food. Now, with the NPCs, I'm not going to do the traditional tank thing with water wall pools. That would be hurting. Mistaken my rotation already. Should have done the damage buff thing first. There. I don't know the names of the skills. The rotation I got set up is just 1, 2, 3 basically. But 1, 2, control 3 for the first run to get the damage buff. I should probably do some AoE thing. I don't like the Warrior AoE because it's a line followed by a circular. So it's just a lot easier when it's a circular. Healer might thank me if I actually use a cooldown. Who is the healer? Alpha Male. He'll be fine. I think one of the criticisms of Trust has been that the NPC DPS is slow. They might only use single targets attacks, they don't have AoEs. I don't know how true that is. Don't really pay too much attention to what they do. I just try to survive, that's my goal. And not nuke anyone else in the process. Now this I'm not too worried about so far, but when we get to the first boss, that's when it gets really tedious. Did I use that? I need to look it up at some point, but I've already, it looks like since I hit higher levels, when I use those skills it doesn't drain my bar. I don't know if that's intentional or not, that's how good I am at this. Because I'm wondering if you use a skill and it doesn't hit, does that not count as consuming the energy or something? Or is there some like RNG thing that you get a freebie? I really need to look at the skills at some point. One thing I will mention at this point is compared to squadrons, which I used a lot to level, I am finding the healing a lot better, but the DPS a lot longer. So that might be part of the tuning. They decided that, no, I should use proper cooldowns in dungeon. What's that button do? Push all the buttons. I mean, I kind of vaguely know. That one lasts a while and reduces damage. That one's kind of sun shield. That reflects sun damage. If in doubt, push all the buttons on the top row, that'll help. Proper tanks are probably going like, what the hell am I on about? I'm pushing all the wrong buttons now. Yeah, it says bar cost 50, but it didn't disappear immediately. So I pushed it several times, and I don't know why it doesn't do that. I suppose I should go back a step about why I'm doing tanking in this manner, which is I get massive anxiety. I've been playing this game for, I don't know, I started at some point in Heaven's War, So Stormblood was my first full expansion, and obviously we're... Oh, there's one there. I didn't even see that one, that's how good I am. Where was I? Yeah. Stormblood was my first full expansion. Obviously we're just into Shadowbringers now, and well, we're most of the way through. So in less than a year, hopefully, we'll have whatever the next major expansion is. Oh, it's AoE time. That means I probably want to use a load of these cooldown things. A load of these cooldown things. What was I saying? Yeah, I use DPS primarily, and that's what I know and like the most. I'm still using single target attacks, but that's out of habit really, because I've been soloing so much stuff. I don't AoE too much. So I'm happy with DPS mechanics, let's put it that way. Basically turn up, avoid getting hit other things. So, as a DPS, one of the things I observe, let's say, is how a tank behaves and if I like it or not. And you get good tanks, from a DPS perspective, you get good tanks, you get not so good tanks. I suppose part of my misconceptions, I suppose, is that I don't appreciate what a tank has to do, or more to the point, I might do, but I don't consider that when I'm DPSing. And to cut a long story short, because I'm going to ramble otherwise, mechanics basically. So I don't mind the DPS aspect of a tank, but knowing what you're supposed to do, like on a boss like this, is interesting. Like, am I supposed to pop something for a tank buster? I don't know which is tank buster. Although usually, if it's a cast bar, I'm going to assume it's going to hit. I can't remember what it's supposed to be now. Is it this side? For now. Which is the range attack? Is that a button? I use it so infrequently, I don't even know the range of that button. What we'll do... But at least it's a single target now, so I don't have to worry about AoEs or anything. As in, I don't have to use my AoE. Not that I don't have to worry about the boss using an AoE. Probably want to use one of those. Yep, so like I said, I get anxiety. I've seen some guides online, and I like Larry Zor's recent video, and he said words to the effect of, you know, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing, most tanks don't anyway either, or something like that. I'm using all the wrong words there. You know, am I giving tanking too much thought, basically? I don't like to go into situations where I'm not in complete control, and if I don't know what I'm doing as a tank, I'm not in complete control. And there's little things like etiquette. I can't remember the name of it. It's a YouTuber. I've forgotten his name now. They were saying something like he was like the #1 ranked tank or something like that, based on passing, I assume. And he was saying words effect of, you should do the best you can so that, oh crap, gonna have to run because this is going to hit. This is going to hit. I'm going to spam a couple of those if this don't make it. I made it anyway, just. Yeah, I didn't like one of the comments along the lines of, the better you are, the faster you go through dungeons. I'm thinking like, a dungeon isn't a race. You don't want it totally suck. You want to know what you're doing, but you don't have to be optimal so that you min-max the time through a dungeon. Because I think that's when you... I mean, some people might enjoy that, but not everyone will enjoy that. And I think a successful dungeon run is one that you enjoy. If a tank is pulling to its limit, you know, if a healer's up to it, fine, but it's not necessarily my area of fun. And on other etiquette things, what else is there? Like, oh, it's there. Didn't even look at the health bar. I mean, I've done low level player instance content, but I wouldn't do higher level because the responsibility, I suppose, goes up a step there. So like anything below 50 I'm kind of okay on. So like I said, you know, should I do a wall-to-wall pull? Or should I do what I want to do? I'm getting hurt. I should use some of these cooldowning things, shouldn't I? Healers must love me. I'm not going to do the healers adjusting, but... just kill them. Kill them all. Maybe it's slow. Oh, just got the door. Every now and then I think I really should just go for it, you know, just tank. But then I start overthinking it. Do I go fast? Do I go slow? Small pulls, big pulls? What was the thing that happened before? That was it. It was Sunken Temple. Oh, I can't say it now. Sunken Temple of Khan. I was in that one as a DPS, I think. It wasn't a tank one. Now, up to the latest itinerant Moogle event, the general running procedure was you get the fruit and the flames to skip the last set of monsters, but the trade-off is you have to kill the other sets of monsters that were in front of those items. When the Moogle event started, I noticed a shift in strategy that tanks started to ignore the items altogether, just run straight through, and instead you get the last because you haven't got the right items, you can't put the right thing in at the last step, so you spawn the last set of monsters. And I don't know if either way is faster or not. I suppose it saves it. The second method saves a little bit of running around, so that might shave a couple of seconds off. But if you're low level, it also means you miss the treasure room that opens up when you do have the items. So that was a bit of a shift. I'm glad that 5.3 has finally dropped now, so that the event is over. I didn't farm the earlier events either, but this one, without actively farming it, I got over 100 of the legal, I can't remember what they're called now, tones or items, whatever they are. Haven't spent them yet, so I could get whatever the 100 currency unit item is, or other smaller stuff, I don't know yet. Because as far as I can tell, it doesn't expire, so you can do it whenever you like. Hey, I actually remember to use a cooldown. Hopefully it must be really good in that. And I've got to stop using that, I don't know the skill now, upheaval. I'm thinking, because it's an AoE, I should save the points for that one fell cleave. Or is that not the right way to do it either? I don't know. When I started this run, it was only just to do this run. I did not have any thoughts about commentating on my thoughts on tanking. So I think I will open it up actually. If there are constructive comments on tanking. And by that I'm thinking it's not necessarily technique, but maybe mentality. I think, you know, the battle is in my head, it's not in executing tank moves. It's in just doing it, I guess. Now this one I hate, but it is a single, so I can use my normal attack. I should go back one step actually. I have got one, oh that hurt, whatever that was. I have got one tank ability already, Gunbreaker. Now of course it has a head start in that it starts at level 60. Whereas the other ones you... Dark Knight starts at 30 and the other two you start at... Right, where's he going? That will do I think. I wasn't paying attention there, but that should be okay. Probably hit that down a little bit early. Where was I? Gunbreaker I got from level 60 to 80 without doing any player instance content, I think. I'm not 100... Actually, now I say that, I might or might not have done a... what they call it again? Guild Pest. But that's low level content anyway, so it doesn't matter. So no dungeons, no trials, no roulettes, none of that stuff. So how did I level Gunbreaker from 60 to 80? These tribes, daily hunts. I'm not paying attention. What am I doing here? Yeah, it's a bit of a grind, so at 60 that would have been what, the start of the Stormblood zones. So that would be the Amanta and the Kojin Beast tribes. And if you go to Gudana, you get the daily hunts as well. They're not bad experience, they're not fast, but it's more than nothing. And once I got past 70, I could then go into the fairies, as well as the Shadowbringer daily hunts. I'm just thinking, did I or did I not do Heaven on High? I said I didn't do any player instance stuff, but I might or might not have done Heaven on High, just to try it out. I think I tried soloing it and died, but I can't remember if I tried a party on it. I mean, it would have been the exception anyway. I probably should use a multiple damage anyway. Did that go off? My mouse is getting a bit horrible. I need a new mouse. Or I need this mouse replaced. I'm using a Logitech wireless, and it's a great mouse. Until it started double clicking. Which I believe is a common problem on the model I have. And actually, well, not just the model I have, through the range. It's a problem they have. It's still within warranty, but not for much longer. And I submitted a ticket, I'm hoping to get it replaced, but they haven't replied to it yet. So I don't know what they're up to. I don't like this bit. I should really pop a load of cooldowns. I'm using all the wrong buttons, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm debating getting another mouse to replace it. That's not a Logitech, but I don't know what I want to get yet. I've forgotten the name of it. There's a wireless one from Razer, which was about £120. And there's a decoded version of the same mouse, seemed to be only 60. And I'm debating how much do I want wireless. My current mouse is a wireless Logitech, like I said, and it wasn't cheap either. I can't remember how much it was. But I'm not feeling as rich as I used to. On the flip side, not having the cable does liberate the mouse experience a bit. It doesn't get caught on stuff on the desk. and even if it's lightweight, it still adds that little bit of friction. But what I'm thinking is I might keep the mouse. I mean, ideal scenario, I get the Logitech replaced, but there's no guarantee I won't get the same problem on the replacement at some point in the future. I mean, it's fine when I got it when it's new, and I think it was probably around 6 to 9 months in I started noticing the occasional double click when I single clicked, and that was getting a bit annoying. And over time it's getting worse on average. But the weird thing is, it's not constant. It does it every time, and it never does it. Some days it might not noticeably happen. Some days it might happen often enough that I'm going like, I need to do something about it. So today, it's happened a few times. It doesn't affect gaming so much because in most games there's not a major difference between a single and double click. I should stop using aeration now, it's only 2 minutes and more than going to be dead anyway. But in gaming, yeah, most times it doesn't matter, but on a Windows desktop, I mean, one of these days I'm going to double order something, aren't I, when I click a button twice and it submits a form twice. And they haven't put in a check to, prevent accidental duplicated orders. Some places I notice do that, but not all of them, so that is a risk I run. Not that I order too much these days, I'm getting a bit better at controlling my spending. Especially on things that I don't essentially need. I'm going to look at some of these buttons actually, because I should learn how to use them. Home down, got it. Reduces my HP to 1. That's just my sharp melt. Do I not have the heal yet? Increases HP and restores the amount, so that is a kind of heal. That is actually a heal deal. I need to get my tank button shortcuts in the same place on all classes, because on my Gunbreaker, where the sharp mount is the regen, Aurora is it? I can't remember the name of it. Why am I still using AoE? It's only one monster here. In part, I'm going to blame it on talking, because I don't normally talk. It does sap some brain power. I'm not good enough to do this at a subconscious level. A bit of practice makes perfect needed here. Sometimes I panic a little bit. As you see there, I just used up all my cooldowns then, so if I did want to use it for anything, I didn't have one. Back on the subject of levelling tanks without using instant spare content, I recently got the remaining tanks all up to 50, so that's Warrior, Paladin and Dark Knight. I didn't duplicate any there, but yeah, that's a 3. Yep, so all of those had a level from 0 essentially, and those at low levels again I did use some player dungeons. Towards the higher levels I started using squadrons again. They are quite powerful actually. I mean, the only minor drawback I suppose is with using squadrons is they don't have all of the dungeon choices. They only have a selected number of them available for these squadrons. Is that a tank buster? I'm going to push another way. Oh, it's not too bad. Am I supposed... I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I think that was okay anyway. Who's going to get changed? Don? He's not. That was useless. I thought I'd use the gap closer to get to the boss, but the whatever you call that, target circle, was so big anyway. I was practically on top of it by the time I pushed the button. No, we don't want your smelly puts. Go away. Is it time for the circle of doom yet? No, just the thing, I guess. I'm always a bit hesitant with things like that. That might be a good time for the shield, but I don't have a shield. Because I used it already. Slight little details like that, I suppose, for fights. Like, I just use my... I don't know what it's called. Raw intuition. I mean, I know that as the... let's call it the short-term cooldown. It doesn't last long, but it's on a short cycle, so I guess it balances out. Right, this is the one I hate. I'm going to go to the other end. I really don't want to be there. I'm going to end up in all of those if I'm not careful. I was just a little bit slow getting around to that side. I should have just stayed on the other side rather than try. One of the things I have learned on the... I don't know what it's called now, the dive bomb mechanic in Copy Factory. I've seen people rush into the safe zone on the far side of the map when it's safer just to stay nearby and just dodge the attack normally. Now this time I have got the shield, and I'll double shield myself. Didn't quite have enough time to reach that one, but I just spammed it now for no particular reason anyway. So yeah, this is by no means optimal. I just thought of a really annoying phrase. If you're old enough or have seen clips of older comedies, there is a comedy called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. It's quite old now. Is it 80s or 70s? The main character, Frank Spencer, is, shall we say, good intentioned, but everything goes wrong. And in one of the lessons, one of the episodes, he took flying lessons. And all I remember is his instructor telling him there are old pilots and there are bold pilots. But there are no old, bold pilots. I don't know about the pirates. And yeah, I mean that's might seem a bit of a tangent, but it's I think a philosophy that works here as well. Rather than try to take the best choice, take the safe choice, if that makes sense, the distinction clear enough. And we're done. How did we do? Wasn't too bad. I didn't need any of those items. Okie dokie. Let's get a picture. I think I'll end the video here. I don't know if you enjoyed my rant or not. If you, well, is it even a rant? My random thoughts on tanking-ish. Again, constructive criticism would be welcome. Once I level up the Trust NPCs, I want to do Don Meg. I love that dungeon a million times more than this one. This one is just, I don't know, it just doesn't inspire me. But Don Meg, it's just so visually nice. Anyway, I'll end here. Thanks for watching and see you next time.